like a loner lately. Been a minute since I woke up feeling sober. When awake, I'm seeing nightmares. Sleeping, you are right there like you never left. And I am hoping that you might care. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotional roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly cope and wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you could trust? Yeah, now you wanna chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on you. I know it's been a while. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now.
Tell the truth. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. I've been feeling like a loner lately. Been a minute since I woke up feeling sober. When awake, I'm seeing nightmares. Sleeping, you are right there like you never left. And I am hoping that you might care. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things.
What's up, everybody? This is Prime Sports Media. I know that it's been a minute since I've uploaded a video. I know it's been a minute since I've gone live. I want to apologize to everybody out there that I've gone a little dormant on the channel. But I'm back. Some personal things, life gets in the way, family, various things can happen. And I'm managing other channels. So I'm back. And we know that it's that time of the year. It's spring practice in Colorado. Coach Prime has done a hell of a job bringing, rebuilding, should I say, the offensive line with the talent that he's brought in. There's some defensive guys on the defensive line that have come in. I think the team is going to be much improved from where they were in 2023. I'm looking forward to the 2024 season. They're going to be in the Big 12, not the Pac-12. I think their schedule as well, we cannot underestimate this, that their schedule is going to be favorable to them. Once again, they've got North Dakota State, Nebraska, Colorado State, which they have a big rivalry with, Arizona, which they played tough when they were in the Pac-12. Okay, Utah is going to be tough. They got Baylor, they got Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Cincinnati, Kansas, Texas Tech, and they got UCF, Central Florida. This is going to be a great upcoming season. Let's not sleep on it. I'm back. It's going to be, we're going to get this channel back into the algorithms again with your help, with your support. Make sure you share this video on all your social media when you get a chance, because I'm going to touch on exactly what you see in the title. We got Charles Woodson, who had some things to say, particularly about, let me put him up here. Charles Woodson, all-time, what is he, 6-time All-Pro. He is also noted as a Hall of Famer. Let's give him a clap. Let me say a shout out to Alicia. She's been following me for a long time. She follows my other channel, The Information Man Show, where I do political and social commentary over there. And let me say peace to P in the house saying, "Are you live?" I'm live, and we're gonna get back on this as soon as possible. In terms of, I'm gonna be more committed to putting out the content, because we're getting close to that time of the year when Colorado is a team. CU is formulating their team, and I'm most excited about Deion Sanders in this 2024 campaign, as he has desires to go to the NFL. I'm really want to see what kind of numbers he puts up when he actually has a legitimate offensive line, tell the truth, blocking for him, because he was the most sacked, unfortunately, quarterback in college football just a year ago. I'm going to touch on some new recruits, or a new recruit, a tight end. You know him, Sam Hart. I'm going to touch on him for a moment, because he's come over and transferred from Ohio State. So I'll get to him near the end of my presentation. I'm going to talk about this young man right here, Samuel. This young man is I believe, a sophomore redshirt who transferred over from Pitt. He is going to be a monster for Colorado. I think their defense is going to be much improved. We saw how teams were able to run up the middle on them and do that sort of damage. I believe this year they're going to be able to play against the run. Lots of talent all over the field that they're going to have. They have definitely, I think Coach Prime has definitely went out and got some good recruits in terms of transfer portal in particular. Now, I want to get back to what this program is really all about. Coach Prime, he's got his critics out there. He's got his haters. But Charles Woodson wasn't criticizing. Charles Woodson, I said something that I thought was interesting, because Coach Prime has made it known that he believes that it's going to be very difficult for teams to not underestimate and overlook the fact that Travis Hunter is a young man that can play both ways, meaning they should not overlook that. And there's already, Coach Prime has put out there that he needs to be properly compensated for the skill set that he has. Now, we know that Hunter, this is out of an article, Hunter, whether as a full-time receiver or a full-time corner or more, is likely going to be a menace on both sides of the ball when he gets to the next level, of which we call the NFL. They should pay him handsomely for his talents, regardless as to likely top 3 NFL draft picks in 2025. So Coach Prime is basically saying this guy, his player, Travis Hunter, should be able to play both sides of the ball in the NFL, and they're going to have to deal with the fact that he can play both sides of the ball. Now, I'm going to be honest. In the NFL, you've only seen a few guys play both sides of the ball, and very sparingly. You have guys that come in as defensive backs, receivers, and maybe they'll use them in special teams as a punt returner, something of that nature. I think Deion dabbled with that. You know, I think when Deion Sanders was with Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, when he was with Dallas, there was a few occasions when they put him out as a receiver. Not all the time, okay? So as talented as a guy can be, the NFL is not college football. You're playing against grown men who are making a living, who are fighting for their jobs every year in their contracts, and they go out there and they hit pretty hard. So the question is, it's not that Travis Hunter, who originally came over from Jackson State, remember when he was in high school, he was primarily coming in and out of high school. He played both sides of the ball in high school, but what really made him stand out, Travis Hunter, was his receiving skills. Now, remember, Nick Saban wanted to recruit him. You had Florida State was looking at getting him. He had a bevy of individual teams, scouts, what have you, that were drooling over him. And this is an area that we have to look at. Hunter still has another year to improve his NFL draft stock. It's not as though there are going to be too many guys out there that are going to be ahead of him in the 2025 mock draft boards that people are already putting together out there right now. Anyway, there's no doubt that he is building quite a resume for the next level. I also want to put this up here too. NFL, this is a quote from Coach Prime. The NFL's got a problem. Coach Prime said of Hunter, this was on Bleacher Report, what you're going to draft. Are you going to draft him as? What are you going to draft him as? You got to pay him on both ways because he has value on both sides of the ball. And that's what Coach Prime was talking about. So these are very good questions. And I think personally that he is going to have a breakout year because we all witnessed when they didn't have Travis Hunter in the game when he was out hurt those few games, how it hurt the team. It hurt the energy of the team, both on offense and on defense. There's no doubt in my mind that this young man can play both sides of the ball, but I want you all to give your opinions in the comment section of this video or even in the chat room. Do you agree with Charles Woodson, all-pro, all-world player? He played with, he played with the Raiders. He played with the Packers. In his opinion, it's just this. And I'm going to play the audio. I'm going to play the video to this too. This is what his opinion truly was. Charles Woodson made these statements. And he said, I think receiver. I think he's nasty at receiver. I mean, he's a good corner. Don't get me wrong. But I see his offensive skills, man. I think his offensive skills are more dominant over his defensive skills. What do you think? Do you think that Charles Haley is telling the God's honest truth that his offensive skills are more dominant? And as a result of that, that's where most NFL teams may see the value in Travis Hunter at the next level and maybe putting him in special teams as a punt returner and all that sort of stuff. Do you agree with him? Or do you just say, no, he's dominant at both sides of the ball? Or do you agree that Charles Woodson, not Haley, has a good point here? I'm gonna play the video where and he didn't say this. I want to make sure that everyone understands this. He didn't say this as a dish to Travis Hunter. He loves Travis Hunter. He loves what the young man brings to the table. No, this wasn't a dish to him. This wasn't a disrespect. He simply gave an honest critique because remember, we forget, ladies and gentlemen, that Charles Haley was an all standout player at Michigan State. Okay? There he is right there. We forget that coming out of high school, just like Travis Hunter, he was sought after by everybody. There he is in his high school years, very young man right there. But he's a Heisman Trophy winner. He dominated in college at Michigan. He admitted that he dabbled just a little bit, not very much, just a little bit at playing a little bit of offense, but not that much. And when you talk about playing both sides of the ball, let's really be honest. Most people play both sides of the ball when they're playing at the high school level. So it's very unique when someone can play both sides of the ball in college. But if you look at most college football, most high school football programs, you've got a myriad of young kids out there who are playing both defense and offense in high school. That's not uncommon. What is not common is that you don't see too many guys playing both sides of the ball when they get to the NFL level, okay?
Tell the truth.
You might have guys that, like I said before, who will dabble in special teams play, but not very many. I believe that Travis Hunter has the skill set where he could be maybe, let's say this, and there's got to be a team out there that's willing to do this. He could be the first NFL player in the future when he's drafted in 2025. He could be the first future NFL player to play both sides of the ball consistently, unlike any he could be. That could be a projection, but you got to have the right team that he gets drafted by who wants to take that chance on playing on both sides of the ball, because the problem with football is that it's physical. You can get hurt. And in the NFL, they're going to look at that. If we put this guy out here and have him playing receiver or doing all this, playing defense at the same time, how does it hurt or help the team if he gets hurt playing one or the other positions? But let me let you hear live on video what he said. Charles Woodson was on a podcast, and he was a hell of a Hall of Fame player himself, so he knows what he's talking about. Once again, he's a 6-time All-Pro in the NFL. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's a first-round high draft pick, so he comes with a pedigree of knowing what he's talking about. Coach Prime has already made it known that the NFL's got to pony the money because he brings value for both sides. So Coach Prime is a believer that this young man should be playing both sides of the ball when he gets to the NFL. Let's hear what Charles Haley had to say on a podcast that he was on. I read to you what he said, but let you see it for yourself. And once again, this wasn't a disrespect or a dish to Travis Hunter, because he likes Travis Hunter. He likes what he brings to the table. But let's see what he had to say. You're listening to Prime Sports Media, ladies and gentlemen, and check this clip out. This is fair use with the purpose of news reporting, critical analysis, parody, and what have you. This is fair use.
Colorado. I'd be like him. Yeah, he truly plays both ways.
I think that is
like 130 plus plays a game.
That's
like,
crazy.
I tell people, like, I like dibbled and dabbled on offense. Like, I didn't play a whole lot of offense. It just seems
so. As you can see, he's telling you right up that he only dibbled and dabbled in offense, but he recognizes the skill set of Travis Hunter, but feels that he's more dominant where?
He plays offense and defense, like literally.
Like every
that's
snap,
great.
like
yeah,
in high
that's
school, when you don't come off the field.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Where do you think he's better suited, on offense or defense?
Oh man, I think receiver. I think he's nasty at receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good corner. Don't get me wrong, but I see his offensive skills, man. I think his offensive skills dominate over his defensive skills.
So you heard it. He believes that Travis Hunter's offensive skills dominate over the defensive skills. I want you all to put in the comment section of this video today, how do you feel about what he said? And do you agree with Charles Woodson respectfully, or do you disagree with him? Do you agree that he can play both sides of the ball consistently at the NFL level, or do you agree that it's going to be difficult for him to play consistently because the NFL is a man's game and the hits in the season is longer, right? The stress and the stakes are at a higher level at the pro level. So all these things we have to think about. But just to remind you, here is a video, some video clips of Travis Hunter playing in practice, covering. Check this out. This is a reminder, ladies and gentlemen. So that's his defensive back skills right there, right? Boom, knocks the ball away, right? Right? Woo! Yeah. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Right? And then here's one where Shedeur Sanders is throwing him a pass in practice as a receiver. There you go. So it freezes right there, and then bam, that's Shedeur throwing him the ball. He catches the ball. That's his receiving skills. And then here is a clip, ladies and gentlemen, of this is in practice where Shedeur, they're in practice in the practice facility, and Shedeur is throwing him a pass. And this is where Charles Woodson believes he's more dominant at the receiver spot. So check this out as a reminder. This is from last year. Check this out.
Tell the truth.
There you have it right there. You saw how Travis Hunter caught the ball and had the whereabout to run down the line, run down that field, break away from people, skill set. I got to be honest. Last year in the 2023 season, when he played receiver, I thought at times he was very dominant as well, and he could make plays. But let's not forget this right here. I'm going to put this picture up here. Remember this picture? I'm going to tell you what play that was to remind you. And I think this is what I'm telling you. He's going to be better coming into the 2024 season because he's got last year under his belt. This is the play he made against TCU, the first game of the season. At the side, when TCU, I believe they were at the goal line, and the quarterback was looking to throw the ball to the side corner of the goal line to try to get a touchdown. And Travis Hunter came out of nowhere, and he jumped the route that the receiver was running to snag that ball, and that was right there. Then here he is right here in his receiver position. Charles Haley makes really good points. This is a man who is a legendary football player, and Travis Hunter is creating a legendary background at CU. So basically, in a nutshell, everybody, because this is going to be a short podcast today, just let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about what Charles Woodson had to say? Do you agree with him? Do you disagree? He certainly has the pedigree to be able to speak his mind about what he thinks. He didn't do it in a disrespectful way. I think he's amazed by the young man because he was a great player of the game himself back in the day. There he is right there again. And remember, he was a top recruit out of high school. Travis Hunter's been doing this ever since high school to like now. And I just want you to let me know how you feel about that. Another thing I want to show you is another video where Coach Prime, once again, showing the confidence that he has in the players that he believes are going to be drafted high off this team, particularly, we have to be honest, Shedeur. He's talking about Shedeur. And, of course, he'll be talking about Travis Hunter here as it relates to the 2025 draft. Check out what Coach Prime had to say. This is fair use for news reporting, for critical analysis and parody. This is Coach Prime.
But the potential of having Shedeur and Travis both in the Heisman race going into the next year. That's got to be pretty exciting.
Well, it's not only exciting, it's great for the rest of the team. Forget the Heisman. Let's think about where they're rated in the draft. The guys are like 1 and 2 or both in the top 5 for certain. You know how many scouts going to be on those sidelines for spring, for fall?
Coming to watch them, they're going to see.
Yeah, but they're going to get to see our other kids. They're going to get to see the linemen that we brought in, the defensive ends, the pass rushers, some guys in the secondary. I mean, they're going to get to see the tight ends. They're going to get to see everything that we feature. Our wonderful 2 of our kickers that are phenomenal. 3 of them are phenomenal. They're going to get to see all those components of this team, and that's what it's all.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what's happening here, as you can hear Coach Prime say, that during the spring practice, which they're already in that process right now, that the scouts are going to be able to see a whole plethora of talent that they have, that when they see that the offensive line's been rebuilt, when they see a Travis Hunter, a Shador Sanders, a Shallow Sanders, his son, and many myriad of other players on this team, that the scouts are going to be very impressed by what they see. And Coach Prime is very confident about that because he's confident about the young men that he has been able to recruit or encourage to come over and transfer to the program. Let's hear some more of Coach Prime, shall we?
No matter what they really came to, but then when they see that, they're going to say, wow, did you see that receiver that Shador is throwing to? Who is that? Let me find him because this kid is unbelievable. Like, that's what you're going to see. And it's going to be a draft factory. And we're going to.
So he's saying it's going to be a draft factory, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? I want you to make comments about what you believe, how you feel about what Coach Prime said there in that situation, that it's going to be a draft factory. We'll see. There is lots of talent that he has picked up on this team. I want to get into that area of the podcast today before we get to conclusion. And I want to talk about this young man right here. This is he's committed, he's transferred. This is tight end Sam Hart, who's transferred in from Ohio State. Ohio State, that's big time football, where he was recruited and where he played. He's transferring, and I'm excited about this because they didn't have this type of tight end last year. Remember, I think that was that hurt them, not having a guy who not only can break out and receive the ball, but can actually block, which is exactly what someone like Shador Sanders needed. He needed someone that can block. Now you got a tight end that who not only can put his hands in the trenches, in the dirt, and can block people, but he can also block and spread out into the passing zone and catch balls and make plays. Now, let's look at his credentials here. Let's look at the credentials right now. This is what the scouts are saying from 24/7 Sports, y'all. The scouting reports on the 6'5", 255-pound. They didn't have anybody with that. They didn't have a guy out there starting with that kind of size. 6'5", 255-pound Hart. Is he a fit? He fits exactly what Buffalo, what CU was looking for and what they need. The tight end position. A inline player at the position that is willing to get his hands dirty, okay, get his hands dirty in the trenches and create an extra gap. He won multiple state wrestling championships while at Cherokee Trails. I guess that's the high school he went to. Hart also adds to the passing game because he is mature enough to get himself open. This is what they're saying about this guy right now. Just like I said, this is what they did not have a year ago, is a tight end that can not only block but could get open. So he gives you versatility that they did not have at that position. And when you have a quarterback that's under duress, that's under pressure, usually their safety blanket is what, ladies and gentlemen? What? It's usually a tight end.
Tell the truth.
Usually the tight end is that safety blanket. Now, if you got a guy like this that can not only block and get open and has experience, and he has experience coming over from Ohio State, that's big-time football there, then he brings a certain presence and skill set to CU that was big time missing in their offense, and a big time, and I would say this, a big time missing weapon that Shedeur needed. You see Shedeur here as he was taking a beating last year. Now we can have a Shedeur upright and a Deion Sanders that when he is under pressure, he's got a guy he can go to who's big, who's strong at 6'5", 255 pounds, can get open and can get open, catch the ball, make plays, and block and put his hands in the soil and get dirty. This is exactly what CU needed. They needed it last year. And they're getting it this year, ladies and gentlemen. So I think this was great value for Coach Prime, for CU, and for all the fans out there that's been following this whole situation. Let me go over here and talk about another young man. This was put out. This was a report that was put out. And let me put this up here right now. So this young man right here, this is Samuel. He's a sophomore defensive tackle out of Pitt. He transferred. He is actually a red shirt sophomore. They're looking for special things out of him. Let me also put this up here. And this is an article. Incoming transfer Samuel. I can't, the last name is African Okalula. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Named CU Buffs top rising star. So they believe that this young man will be a top rising star for CU. They're looking for great things out of Samuel. And see, remember last year, they could not stop the run and they weren't getting enough pressure on the opposing offensive team against that opposing offensive team's offensive line. We need pressure, we need run stops, what have you, and we need the ability to hit the gaps to make it easier for CU's linebackers to make plays when you've got defensive tackles and defensive ends that can hit those proper gaps. Let me also bring up this article, which was also part of 24/7 Sports. The former Pitt defensive end, he's a defensive end, Samuel Okala, I'm not saying the last name correct, but comes to Colorado as one of head coach Deion Sanders, Coach Prime's biggest transfer portal pickup of the offseason, according to 24/7 Sports. He was a four-star recruit coming out of high school originally to Pitt, a four-star transfer, 24/7 Sports. Samuel's record of 6 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks for the Panthers last fall in his first full college season. The 6'4", 245-pound redshirt sophomore is now preparing for his first spring camp with the Buffs CU and should be in line to start on Colorado's defensive line in 2024. So I'd like to know, once again, in the comment section of this video, let us know how you feel about this pickup. Again, I think I talked about this young man in earlier videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because this is how we grow and we build it. I know I haven't been live in quite some time, but we're going to start going live. We're going to start uploading those videos. We're going to start doing the things we got to do over here. I've been absent a little bit from the channel, personal things in the life, certain things I got to deal with. Life does get in the way, but we're back with it. I thank you all that are still believing and rocking with the channel. And hopefully people will come back as they realize that I'm consistently going to be uploading videos and going live and talking about these various issues related to CU and the upcoming season for 2024. And they're going to be in the Big 12, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they match up. And also there are people that believe that them being in the Big 12 is going to help recruiting because Coach Prime has a history of having, what was it, Prime Academy in Texas, and he knows the Texas landscape when it comes to recruiting. So there's people that think that this is going to help them with recruiting and being able to bring even better players into CU because now they're in a viable conference. And, of course, we know that the Pac-12 has literally fallen apart to a certain degree, okay? So leave a comment on this video. Let me know what you think. Once again, I want to thank everybody that's been rocking with the channel. Once again, I want to apologize for my absence from loading up and going live and continuing to put content out. It's been a while since I put some content out, but we're going to get back on the saddle, crank that content out. I'm going to hopefully be able to bring people up to talk to me about all the aspects of CU. What's the prospect for the season? Like you, I'm going to be looking at the spring practice updates. Another thing I want to say, I think it was reported in the news, in the sports news, that this year, for whatever the reasons are, CU, I think, will not have a live game. Or last year, remember when they had spring practice, or they had a practice game where you had first stream going against second stream, and that was all aired on television, and a lot of hype around that because Coach Prime, just got to CU. It looks like this year they're not going to do a national broadcast with Coach Prime and CU. Now, maybe that could change. That's what I heard. That's what was reported. So we'll see. I would love to see them be nationally broadcast again like they were just a year ago because it's still an exciting story. And it's still exciting what Coach Prime has done at CU. From what I understand, there are stats out there that show that enrollment has increased. I believe enrollment of black people have increased at CU. Enrollment in students altogether, not to mention the money, the revenue that's being generated at CU because of the presence of Coach Prime and what he's done. So even though their record wasn't a great record last year, we can't deny that Coach Prime brought something unique to the table to college football. He had people talking about college football more. People who kind of dropped out of watching college football felt enthusiastic about watching college football again. Coach Prime brought all that to the table. Okay? And that can't be denied. He brought all that to the table. And I think he's going to bring a lot more to the table this year because there's going to be 12 teams that can go into the playoff system. It's a 12-team playoff system this year, not a 4-team system. And Coach Prime has already said that he believes his team will be one of those 12. So with the improvement of the offensive line, and we know that Deion Sanders is the real deal when he's given time to actually throw the damn football, everybody. When he's given time, because what happened last year, we don't want to see that happen again. So you give him time, he can make miracles happen. I've said this before. It was embarrassing and sad to see the distress, and that he went under, the injury that he had to sustain last year because the offensive line just didn't do it. So we're going to see a lot of change. There's been some coaches changes, guys who I guess didn't cut the mustard, right? And so I'm anxious to see how the new coaches, the new offensive line, and the new defense, the defensive coordinator, I'm anxious to see how everything is put together, and will they be very different and very effective, more effective as a football team in comparison to the things that took place last year. You let me know in the comment section of this video, how do you feel about it? Share this video on your social media. Let people know about the channel. Let people know that, yes, Prime Sports Media is back, up and running. Took a little bit of a hiatus, but back. We'll be uploading the videos. We'll be going live. We'll be following everything that's going on and talking about it on this channel. do plan to bring people on as guests to talk about what's happening with CU. I am excited about the upcoming season. Will Coach Prime, and this is another young man I'm very excited about, Jordan Seaton, yes. From all accounts, what I'm hearing right now is that he is doing a great job right now in spring practice. They said he looks to be the real deal, as they believed him to be. People are excited about his presence on the football team. I'm excited about him being there because this is one of the #1 offensive linemen who came out of high school. He is pro style. I think he can play tackle. He can play right tackle. This is exactly what they need, because when you've got a quarterback like Shedeur taking the hits that he took last year, you've got to have someone protecting his blind side. And Jordan Seaton, as of right now, is being touted as the real deal. So let's give a clap to that. And I believe and feel, and I know he is the real deal. So that's another area that we have to be excited about. Wow. I'm just taking it all in, folks. It's been a minute since I've been live, and I've put up some content. It just, I have to laugh to myself to keep from crying and saying, man, you got to put the content out. But I'm glad to be back. Thank you for rocking with me still. And we're going to do this again very soon. So everybody out there, make sure you tell somebody that you love them, that you appreciate them. And I thank Coach Prime, and I thank Travis Hunter. I want to put him up here because I think the young man is truly going to be the real deal. With that said, everybody, you take care. This is Prime Sports Media. I'll get back with you very soon with more content coming. Thank you.
Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 tell me nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 tell me nah, 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 right now. I've been feeling like a loner lately. Been a minute since I woke up feeling sober. When awake, I'm seeing nightmares. Sleeping, you are right there, like you never left. And I am hoping that
I'd be like him. He truly plays both ways.
Yeah, I think that is
Like 130 plus plays a game. Like I tell people, like I like dibbled and dabbled on offense. Like, I didn't play a whole lot of offense. It just seems like it. He plays offense and defense. Like literally. That's great. Yeah, that's.
When you don't come off the field.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Where do you think he's better suited on offense or defense?
Oh man, I think receiver. I think he's nasty at receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good corner. Don't get me wrong, but I see his offensive skills, man. I think his offensive skills dominate over his defensive skills.
Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 tell me nah, 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 right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotional roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly cope and wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you can trust? Yeah, now you wanna chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you.
Hey, Dave, I see you. Talks Buffs. Yeah, we're going to link, man. I took a little bit of a break, but we're gonna link up. I'm gonna get you on the channel. We're gonna do some interviews and some conversations about what's going on at Colorado CU, and I'm gonna be putting out my content again and cranking things out. So I was a little bit on a hiatus. I'm back, you know, personal life, things like that getting away. But I'm getting the channel cranked back up again. I appreciate you coming over. Alicia, I appreciate you. Boss Omar, I appreciate you. All of you. We're going to get it cranking. And my man Dave's Talk Bus, make sure you subscribe to his channel. That's my man. He invited me on his show a few times. He's out there in CU, knows a lot about what's going on out there. He's got a great channel. His channel is growing. We want him to have success as well. And thank you. We'll link up. I'll send you a message on the Instagram, not Instagram, the Twitter, and then we'll set something up eventually. I appreciate you. Thanks.
All
right, everybody, take care.
Right there, like you never left, and I am hoping that you might care. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. I wonder if you're social lately.
Thank you for listening and watching Prime Sports Media.